Hello and welcome to the Young Turks Dream Decade. I'm Shireen Bhanna. If you've been watching our show closely, then you know for the past 3 months we've put the spotlight on India's booming internet economy. In fact, we have profiled some of India's hottest young internet entrepreneurs. So we thought it was only fitting that at the second Young Turks Conclave, we bring this community together to talk about the road ahead. Joining me and Hitesh Obera as my co-moderator were Naveen Tewari of InMobi, Beru Chet of SMS Gupshup, and our very own Sandeep Malhotra, the CEO of Home Shop 18, a Network 18 company. Take a look at all the action.
100 million web users, 47,000 crore rupee e-commerce opportunity, and one that's growing over 70% year-on-year. Internet in India is witnessing a boom like never before. While FY11 saw $230 million worth of funds being invested in as many as 33 ventures, that figure has already been surpassed this year by just 3 of our young Turks. Flipkart has recently raised $150 million from General Atlantic, valuing it at a whopping $1 billion. Beru Chet social messaging venture SMS Gupshup brought in 50 crore rupees from Tanaya Capital and 3 other investors, while Naveen Tewari's mobile ad network InMobi raised $200 million from SoftBank. But are these valuations for real, or does this funding frenzy have the makings of yet another bubble? Catch all of that and more on our panel next.
Let me ask all of you guys, what does it feel like when you have all of this capital chasing you? You're probably sort of banging doors in people's faces saying, no, I don't want you at this point in time. I've already got a long line of people outside. What is this feeling like for you? Let's start with you.
There are 2 parts to that. So one is, you got a lot of money, now you got to figure out how to spend it. I think the second part of that is you got to be extremely focused about what you're trying to do, because with capital comes a lot of, you can go in multiple directions.
Yeah.
And you got to be extremely focused about your strategy and what you're looking to do.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I think it's, it can be intimidating, I'd say, because with great money comes great expectations.
Yeah.
And now you got to live up to them. And don't forget, this is merely an intermediate milestone, right? No one's getting rich, no one's getting cash, any of that. It's sort of like you're climbing Everest and you've just reached base camp. So there's an even bigger climb to come, and you just have to, like you said, you have to focus, you have to live up to your expectations on the valuation that you've achieved in that.
Sandeep, how do you stay away from the distractions that are coming your way at this point in time?
I think it's exciting and scary at the same time. As long as we're using the money to build businesses and build the domain of e-commerce or virtual retail, I think everything's fine. If you just don't slip into buying sales, that's where the risk is.
What is the danger of buying sales, not being able to utilize this money optimally? You've got all of this cash and now you don't know what to do with it.
Traditionally, internet businesses have been built on very little capital.
Yeah.
And I think one of the good things about having little capital is that it forces you to innovate.
Yeah.
And do things differently. One of the dangers of having a lot of capital, in my view, is that you sort of then start spending on stuff which you should not be spending on.
Let's talk about return on investment and profitability. What is the kind of horizon that we're actually looking at?
We have sort of 60% gross margins.
Sure.
We're looking to get profitable within 6 months and so on. So the issue with the new capital that's come in is, okay, can we prudently invest in new areas that help us grow, perhaps expand internationally, perhaps build new products, expand in sales and marketing. So at least, speaking for ourselves, I think every company has this challenge. They have different dynamics. In our case, I think we'll get there. I mean, we're not concerned about it.
Okay. Naveen, do you want to share some thoughts on just the profitability, return on investments, how sustainable the model is? Because once again, the questions of, is this another 2001? Are we sitting on another sort of valuation bubble? All of that's being spoken about once again. But the sense that one gets is that this time around, perhaps it's different. Is it really?
Yeah, so our belief is certainly it's very different. Between 2000 and now, there is a huge difference in the number of consumers that are users of internet. Our stats suggest anywhere close to about 70 million users that are on our system today. And that's just India. We do business globally. We touch about 400 million users every month. The business has gone through a cycle where people understand how to make money out of that. It's just in India, we expect the total number of mobile internet users to be about 300 million. And the usage of the time that a user spends is going to shift onto mobile.
Okay.
And so today there are people who are cutting their cords on television, who are moving away from normal PC. Everything is moving towards mobile. So we look at it and saying, look, internet and that on mobile is just going to be a different beast altogether.
Okay, Hitesh, you want to?
Yeah. So what is very interesting for me, as far as your model goes, is that you're trying to build a product company which is in many ways global.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of your revenue, I'm sure most of your revenue today comes out of India.
95%.
And your main competitor in the long run is going to be Google.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
So how difficult is it for you to compete? Is it going to be for you to compete with Google and technology?
Yes, we're going to compete with Google. We take a lot of pride in that, but I don't think it's about the competition. It's about can we continue to create outstanding products that our customers are going to love, such that they can continue to use our service. Now, the market that we are going after globally is about $25 to $30 billion 2 to 3 years from now. It will be a market which a handful of players will take. So there will be consolidation, and what we wanted to ensure with this level of financing that we received is that we are one of the clear winners in that race to be a large global player.
Sandeep, I just want to come to you, because a couple of years ago there was a lot of talk about the hybrid Indian model, offline, online. Now there's a talk about integration across mobile, internet, television, which is what you're doing. How do you see this evolving as we go forward?
I think the opportunity of a hybrid model is very, very huge. Again, for the simple reason, there are about 5,000 cities in the country, but only about 2,800 of them have a motorable road.
Yeah.
But television reaches all those 5,000 cities and beyond. That opportunity of reaching out to customers through the virtual route is huge.
But what about the execution challenge? And I come to the execution challenge because this is the feedback that I've gotten after speaking to a whole bunch of entrepreneurs who are in the business of e-commerce. I mean, we don't have reverse logistics in this country at this point in time. All of that stuff. We don't have the surrounding infrastructure, the ecosystem that will actually enable you to get into the parts of the country that you want to get into.
This is about building your own BPOs in your call centers. Call centers manned by salesmen, which is a little difficult. Today we have an alternative distribution platform which reaches products in 3,000 cities. Even certain FMCG companies, and the best of them, don't have that kind of a network. So it's about logistics, it's about supply chain, it's about warehousing, it's about inventory control.
And what about the myth that Indians will never buy stuff off of television or never buy stuff off of the internet?
Well, listen, touch and feel will never go away, but I think 7% of Indians are getting married on the net without touch and feel. So, well, things are changing. Things are changing rather quickly.
It was a real shock to us. And one day we wake up and read the school newspaper, and there's a description of this website that sounds eerily like Harvard Connection, except it's called Facebook.